hit the Gulf Coast back in September. Now, later on this week, we might see some of those impacts here in our area, Jackie. Yeah, I don't want that to happen.
Well, Shanika, it's not going to be nearly as bad as what they're seeing right now in Florida. However, we'll likely be seeing the remnants of Nicole moving into our area as early as tomorrow morning. Some of the outer rain bands associated with Nicole sliding into the DMV. But here's a live look at the radar loop of Nicole as it moves its way farther inland, talking about the eye of that storm. It was well defined earlier as it made landfall right about 3 a.m. this morning, just south of Vero Beach, right along the eastern coastline of Florida. Now it's moving a little bit farther inland, and notice that eye not as defined. So that is indicating that it is weakening. So it made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane. Now it is a tropical storm as it moves across farther inland across the peninsula of Florida. It's moving just south of Orlando in terms of the eye of that storm. And Orlando is still dealing with some heavy downpours as we speak. And not only that, just north of there, right into the northeastern coastline of Florida, they have a hurricane watch as we speak. Now back here locally, we're talking about increasing clouds for the day today, but it will be on the warmer side in comparison to yesterday. Going to be tracking those high temperatures, mid-upper 60s today. Really a great day to make clear out those storm drains as well as those gutters to allow any of the rain showers that we will see associated with the remnants of Nicole for tomorrow. It will really allow that water to flow freely. Some lingering showers early Saturday morning, thinking ahead of 7 a.m. Saturday morning, and then we should see drier conditions, but it'll still be breezy in the wake of Nicole moving its way farther out to sea. Sharp temperature drop towards the end of the weekend. We're going to be tracking high temperatures only to the 40s as we look ahead towards Sunday. But how long will that stick around? More details with that 7-day in just a couple minutes. I want to talk about that excessive rainfall outlook. We do have that slight risk off towards the north and west, out towards western Maryland, as well as parts of Virginia out towards Luray and Woodstock. Now that slight risk, that's a 2 out of 4 on that scale. Meanwhile, marginal risk for the rest of the region, including the I-95 corridor and DC as we look ahead towards tomorrow. Satellite radar, though, right now, it is all quiet. All quiet ahead will be the remnants of Nicole to move in for tomorrow. Temperatures right now starting off into 30s to 40s, and we're seeing those upper 40s right now in the district. Futurecast showing us the leading edge of those rain showers starting to push their way into at least the southern reaches of our viewing areas. Look ahead towards tomorrow morning, right around 6 a.m. Could be seeing a few of those rain showers right around D.C. And these will turn still widespread through the, let's say, midday hour. By about the afternoon, maybe could be breaking apart just a little bit, but then we do see a resurgence of some more of that rainfall sliding through later on Friday night into early Saturday morning. Cold front will then meet up with the remnants of Nicole pushing its way out. And we'll see some colder air trickling in as we look ahead towards later on Saturday and into early Sunday morning. Rainfall totals, we're talking about those mainly right about, say, 3/4 of an inch to about 2 inches of rainfall. So again, really dependent on where the heaviest of the rain bands will be, but it looks like back over towards the I-81 corridor and back over towards western Maryland, that's where we could see some of the higher rainfall totals, close to an inch closer towards the district. So we did make Friday, a DMV first warn day. We're tracking high temperatures right around 70, though. Feeling quite tropical Friday. 60s Saturday, upper 40s Sunday, and 40s for high temperatures. Stick around for the start of that next work week. Christy Matino is here with the very latest on traffic.